What's up YouTube, Youth Director here. Today we're going to talk about an addition to my speakers for my home theater room. We went on a road trip, found some speakers that match the speakers that I have currently, so we can have some as backups in the future, as well as also expanding our home theater and adding more speakers to it. So let me show you what we found. I'm really excited to add these and to actually maybe even upgrade some of our current speakers to some of these right here. So let's show you what we got. So first off, we have a Velodyne subwoofer. Again, this is a haul of old speaker equipment. This is a Velodyne CT12. So it says, yeah, CT series, it's a 12-inch woofer. Then we have some Polk FX1000s, which have the 6.5-inch woofer and the 1-inch aluminum tri-laminate tweeter on both sides, which I can take those and put those in new enclosures that fit my setup. And look at here, some RT2000Ps as well. All these are in cherry. And then here's the whole reason why I went for this haul, a CS1000P. Very excited about that center channel. It has two built-in subwoofers. Of course, I don't plan on using those as subs, rather. I plan on just crossing it over around 80 to 100 and allowing it to take some of the work off of the 6.5-inch woofers and put them to those two subs there, so that way we actually have maybe a better response from those two 6.5-inch woofers and put it to the two 6.5-inch subwoofers instead. So pretty excited about this haul of speakers. It's a great, the guy paid like, when he bought them, like $3,500, $4,000 for these speakers. I paid a whole lot less. I'm so really happy with the price I paid. Can't wait to get them integrated into my system. All right guys, down here in my basement, finally got these speakers down here. It took a little bit of work for sure. Definitely heavy. Took them down my steps. My steps are a little narrow, so I probably should have just went to the doors in the walkout basement, walked around the house, but I didn't do that. So again, if you've been following me, I'm trying to upgrade all of my speakers to speakers that have the same woofer and the same tweeter, and I want to get as many speakers as I can placed in positions around this room that make sense for doing a Dolby ATMOS setup, which I have currently, a Dolby ATMOS setup, just pretty much right where I need everything, and an Auro-3D setup just to also put some speakers there, and I can switch between the two whenever I want to do those. My quest has been to try to find certain speakers and also upgrade the ones I have a little bit. I have a center channel that's the CS400. It's an old Polk center channel. Well, there's a CS1000. I've been looking for it, finally got it. I got a new friend down in Georgia, actually about to move to Belgium. His name's Dave, and Dave was able to sell me the CS1000 center channel along with all of these other speakers, two more Polk RT2000P towers, as well as some FX1000 rear surrounds. So I'm gonna let you know what we're gonna do with these and how we're gonna integrate them into the system. So let me give you a look at what all that we picked up from Dave down in Georgia. So here is the FX1000. And the FX1000, what I want to do with these is take the woofers and tweeters out of those and crossovers and build a box that allows these to recess into the wall and not use them as a dipole or bipole speaker. I like my FX500s that we put into the wall right over here. So we took those and we made those into just a single pole speaker, put it into the wall for our rear, not our rear surrounds, but our side surrounds. There's the other FX1000. So that's 4 woofers and 4 tweeters. So I could actually make 4 different speakers out of those. And what I could do is take them and for my second row of seating back here, put another rear surround, do an array setup for the rear surround, have one here for this front row of seats, one for the second row of seats. And I can also take the other 2 woofers and tweeters and put them up here in the corners, make a box for that, and use that for an Auro-3D setup. So because, you know, with Auro-3D, you don't have in-ceiling speakers. You have top surround or whatever they call it. It's up high into the ceiling and the corners rather than actually in the ceiling itself. So that's the plan for those. Then we have 2 more of the RT2000Ps. And Dave played these for me before I left, and they sounded great. So I definitely think I want to try those out because over here, plus they have the correct bases on them. I have my RT2000Ps. They're black instead of the cherry finish, but the bases on them weren't there, so I had to build those bases. And I want to see what these sound like compared to those, because mine sounded great, but so did his. And then here's the Mac Daddy right there that I've been looking for such a long time, for a couple years. That is the CS1000P. So very excited to have this center channel right here. Can't wait to get it integrated in. Let me show you a look what it looks like compared to its little brother back there. All right, so there you go. Very similar to its little brother back there. However, it's got 2 subwoofers on the side. And the reason I like that is because, no, this is not going to be playing the deep bass of my LFE channel, but it's going to be able to play the deeper bass of the signal that I send to the center channel and allow these 2 woofers right here, this one and this one, to free up to have more flexibility and not have so much work put on just those 2. So like from the 80 to 150 hertz range will be in these speakers right here, allowing those 2 to be freed up. So I really like that. I went ahead and took off the grills for the speakers, so you can see the 2 8-inch subs here in the RT2000Ps, and then you can see both the woofer tweeter on those 2. This one as well. Went ahead, my 1000s I use as the wide surround. Took off the grill for that so you can see it. Back here, those Infinities are just for storage. I have a subwoofer down there too. These are my RT2000Ps I've had for a while. Here's some RT55s, and these 3 speakers you see now eventually will be an LCR for the upper channels in an Auro-3D setup. They'll be placed up here at the top. And then there is the other speaker in the Infinity that's just been stored. This receiver right here is actually powering a subwoofer underneath it. And that receiver is able to, it has a 5.1 channel input, and I can go in there and input it and bypass any kind of sound processing and things like that. That way I can get a good sound going to my subwoofer, clean sound without it being processed. So all these speakers were manufactured like in 1997, 1999. So they're, 26 years old, but they're great speakers. Okay, so one thing I want to point out that is different, other than these speakers are cherry finish instead of black, is that they have a different power cord. The amp looks the same, everything looks the same on the amp except for the binding posts. On the ones that I had were a gold metal binding post. The ones that I picked up from Dave are plastic, but the power cord for the ones I just picked up have an IEC power cord, like the 3-pronged IEC power cord. You can see down there, there's the input for the power cord. And here's the one that I have, just a regular old power cord. I think they may have done that to help with some ground loop noise or something like that may have been coming from the amplifiers. People may have complained about it, and maybe they changed it. So I'm gonna hook these up and see though if I like having the thicker IEC power cord, that's for sure. So maybe it makes a difference. We'll see. Okay, so I'm back here. I did watch a movie and also watch The Last of Us after I set up my system, and I have to say it has not sounded better than this. I'm sure some of it is the speakers that I just picked up. I decided to go ahead and put both of the front towers and the center channel that I got in my system. So I'll give you a look at that real quick. So there they are, nice and beautiful. Love these speakers. Love the center channel, kicks hard. Tell you what, it's so nice, so nice. One thing that I think that I did that really helped out, and people say, hey, if you're gonna use Odyssey, just do like the main listening position, do the first, 3 seats or whatever. I have 8, there's up to 8 that you can do with Odyssey, 8 different takes of the testing, different places. And I did that, and all the sound seemed to just be so much more directional for me. I don't know what happened, why it does that, but it just seems so much better. Also, I was able to bump up the bass a little bit. I added this new subwoofer, this Velodyne, and that Velodyne really kicks hard too. and lower, I think, than some of my other speakers, even though it says it's not rated to go lower, but it did. So it was great. But I watched a movie that really is not any kind of sci-fi or any kind of movie that has a lot of bombs and action and things like that going off. And that movie was great. The sound was excellent. It's a newer movie, but you know, it's not one of those movies that you should be thinking about the sound so much, but it was so good. And of course, you know, the sound was really good in The Last of Us as well. So anyway, I think I'm going to end this video here, but I'll tell you what, I'm super happy with what I've done. Now my closet, I'll show you this. It is full of speakers. I have so many receivers and speakers. I could do multiple systems over and over, but here's what I have in my closet right now. So it is chock full of speakers here. Oh, look at that up there. I have to clean this up. Speakers back there. All these boxes and speakers and things back in there too. So I can't really do much work in my closet. Eventually, I might make this closet into a larger closet, get rid of this little nook area that we have that we're stuck in the new subwoofer, and have more space to store some things. Because with it behind the screen, I felt like I was getting some extra kind of like rattles and things like that, where the speakers and stuff were sitting on top of maybe a subwoofer, or just things weren't, you know, didn't have any kind of absorption for all the vibrations that were happening back there. So if you like this video, this little update I have on my trip to Atlanta, we're close to Atlanta, Smyrna. Great little place down there, by the way. I also throw in a couple of pictures. I stopped on the way down there. Some people I like to watch on YouTube, I've watched them for years now, as the Goonzquad. And so I found their garage, stopped outside of their garage, and took a couple pictures. They were in there working, but I didn't want to bother them because I know I'm sure they get a lot of people out there. But that was cool. I'll throw those pictures in here and let you see those too. So on the way back from Georgia, we got to stop in Chattanooga and see the Goonzquad garage. This is me with my Goonzquad hoodie on. My wife joined me as well. If you look in the top right corner, you'll see the truck that they built for their pops. In the left corner, we'll see the Ram TRX and the Bronco that's wrecked that they're about to start working on. We also got to see the orange Dodge Viper and the blue Raptor. In the background, we heard them working on a truck. I'm pretty sure it was the Chevy Silverado High Country package truck that they're going to give away. I was really glad that we got to stop and see their garage before they put this privacy fence up. It's actually a privacy screen on their fence. I understand why. They mentioned in their videos that they had people stopping by for hours that would wait on the road. Sometimes they would honk their horns, sometimes even try to open their gate while they're trying to put out content for us. So I understand why they put up the screen on their fence, and I was glad to see their garage before they did so. If you haven't seen the Goonzquad channel at all, I'm a super fan. My wife's a fan. I highly recommend them. They really inspired me as I was watching them to want to go further with my channel, to put out original content, and gave me ideas on how I could do so. So I was really thankful for that, and thankful for the opportunity to get to see their garage. But again, thanks for watching this. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you next time.